Hey everyone, I have something super fun that I wanted to do tonight. I've been thinking about it for a little bit because um, it's really just don't look at the screen. There's nothing on the screen that might give away what we're about to do. Um, but it's Quora, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna look through some real human despair. Sometimes when I'm writing things, I need inspiration. So I'll just hop through Quora when people are so lost in life that they need to turn to the internet to either ask like, here, what's the most hurtful thing someone did to you, or the most hurtful thing someone has said to you, and the people that respond to it. And it's really, oh, there's twists and turns, let me tell you. So yeah, this is an experiment. We're gonna we're gonna go through it together. Let's see what happens. Okay. Um, so I started us off here with a little something that is, what was the most hurtful thing someone did to you? So that's fun. There's 100+ responses to this. So we're sorted by recommended. Upvotes might seem, no, it seems like we're gonna go start with recommended and see where it goes. But these are the most hurtful things people have ever done to other people. Cool. I gotta stop looking here. This is Twitch, over on my right. Anyway, um, okay. So, not with me, but with one of my friends. She told me when she was only 4 years of age, she used to like Maggie a lot. I don't know where this is. One morning, her mother and her father had a fight, so her father got drunk. At the same time, she innocently asked her mother, sorry, not mom, Mom, can I get Maggie, please? Sure. Now Maggie is ready. I don't know. Oh, it's a dish. Okay, that's what the food was about. I've been looking at this food for the last 10 minutes while I set up, and I did not know that Maggie was food. Okay, the moment that girl got bowl of hot Maggie, her father came furiously and asked her, "Do you want Maggie? Do you really want Maggie? Have this." Oh no. He throws the entire super hot Maggie on the face of that 4 year innocent girl for without any reason. Can you even have the hot Maggie on your tongue? Is it spicy? I'm immediately in. Oh no. Drunk father threw hot Maggie. Oh, this is bad. Okay. Can you even have the hot Maggie on your tongue on the very same moment it is ready? No, right? That innocent little kid was hit by a hot Maggie on her entire face. I shouldn't be laughing, but it says hot Maggie. And let me quick, just like hot Maggie. I'm so glad this did not pull up bad things. Okay, we're gonna stop looking there. That's a hot Maggie. It's noodles and tomato, and I'm guessing it's spicy anyway. But it's like, okay. She was shocked. She was not even able to cry at that time because she was so much in pain. Due to this incident, she does not eat Maggie till date. In fact, whenever there is an advertisement of Maggie on TV. Okay, I thought like till they dated. I'm glad I kept reading because I thought he was saying that due to the incident, she doesn't eat Maggie until like a date. And but then it's okay. No, in fact, whenever there is an advertisement of Maggie on TV, it reminds her of this sad incident. This is one of the cruelest thing someone has done. That's true. That's pretty cruel. Don't, in general, don't throw food at your kids' faces, is my policy. So that's where I'm gonna start this with is, and that's a pretty hurtful thing. Do you want Maggie? Do you really want Maggie? Wow, Maggie, a friend putting ketchup in Coke. Woof. That's tough compared to hot Maggie in the face. So, as always, it was a nice day at college. And as always, we were hungry a lot. Truth. You are always hungry at college. You're using your brain a lot. You're running around different places. And you're highly irresponsible. You're at the height of your responsibility in your life. So you've got those three things going for you. And that will absolutely get you hungry all the time. And as always, but I'm gonna nitpick for a second before we get on to the devastating friend putting ketchup in Coke. As always, we were hungry a lot. Those are... And also, I can't say every day at college is a nice day. Anyway, I don't... So, as always, I along with my gang of 4... Sorry, I'm also nitpicking people who aren't from America or English-speaking countries, so I shouldn't. So, as always, I, along with my gang of 4, decided to go to a McDonald's nearby. We ordered our meal, passed jokes, and were enjoying filling up our hungry, growling tummies. Look at that food. Look at that. I haven't had McDonald's in years. No, that's not true. Well, yes, it is true, but I enjoy a chicken McNugget sometimes. Burgers, though, no. It's been many, many years. I wonder if those email noises are popping through on Twitch. I would hate that. It'd be good if those would stop. Okay. All of a sudden, as always, friend A asked for ketchup. I passed him 2 sachets. I'm a good friend. Clearly. He opened it, and instead of putting it on his burger, he put it on friend B's Coke Float. Coke with floating ice cream. If you know, you know. I'm just saying, like... The time stopped. Everything and everyone froze. And I could see the evil smirk on A's face while executing his heinous plan. The innocent face of friend B, with his eyes wide open, looking at this, was pitiful. My God. My God, this is... I'm just saying, he is treating this as honestly worse than the hot Maggie in the face from before. So, let's continue. Sorry. The innocent face of friend B, with his eyes wide open looking at this, was pitiful. Time started again. I felt a little pain in my heart raging with anger. Oh, a little pain in my heart raging with anger on such an impractical prank on food. Ah. I was just gonna react to it. Gosh. I was just gonna react to it, and friend B shouted, "Whoa, I do not know what that word is, but it starts with a B. So, that is bad." Everyone around started looking at our table, and we were surprised to see this guy finally uttering curse word for the first time ever in his life. He's finally uttering curse word for the first time ever in his life? Well, yeah, someone put ketchup in your Coke Float. If you're excited for a Coke Float, I mean... Yeah, but it's from McDonald's. Can you get Coke floats from McDonald's? Can you do that? Is that like a regular thing? Or I hear the flurry is always down, so I'm just questioning. Just asking questions. Okay, so, whoa. Friend A was dumbstruck at this. That's it. That's probably the last time we saw him, Friend A. Wow. Such stupidity with food is hurtful and an unforgivable crime. I can't tolerate such disrespect to food anymore. What? My guy. I mean, yeah, that's way over the top, and it's not cool to, like, you don't squirt ketchup in someone's Coke float. That's not funny. I agree, but at the same time, you then cut him out of your friend group completely for it? He must have been like a kind of annoying person outside of this that you were, or maybe you got a cool friend group and it's just like boom, boom. I don't know. My friends forgive each other for stuff though, but like, nah, I mean, made him utter his first curse word ever for the first time in his life. Going anonymous, because this is extremely personal. My ex-boyfriend from freshman year of high school started rumors about me simply because I broke up with him. That's really bad. But we never slept together. But he was always pressuring me to do things I was uncomfortable with. This is bad. I don't like that one. He first started shit-talking about me, which I had no problem ignoring. Flash forward to my junior year of high school, and I can no longer ignore this guy. Ah, this is in high school, too. Right. My mind automatically put in college. Oh, this is high school, too. My ex went on a porn website, downloaded pictures, videos, and also went through the trouble of making fake texts. He showed almost everyone and convinced the majority that it was me. What? Oh, wow. Oh, wow. It keeps going. This one's less of a fun one to make fun of, so I'm going to go ahead and skip it. But at the same time, it deserves to be read because it's like, I have absolutely heard of people that this has happened to. So it's like, yeah, it's real. But I'm looking for ones that I can make fun of a little bit. Wait, but... that's friggin' rude. Had too much hair down there. He didn't see you. I'm sorry. Whoa, it goes on and on. That's also way too long. But yeah, she deserves good feedback for that because those are terrible things. Okay. What is the most hurtful thing someone has said to you? In 2012, my husband and I had been married for 8 years, together for 12, and had 2 beautiful daughters, 2 and 4 years old. I noticed a sharp decline in my husband's interest in the children. He stopped asking about our oldest daughter's therapy. Alright. She was born with multiple learning disabilities. He stopped picking them up, playing with them, talking to them. When I asked him, he said he was overwhelmed at work. Alright, I mean, those are bad signs, but also work can be overwhelming. So, we'll see where this goes. One night, while he was in the shower, he received a text, and I did something I had never in our marriage had done before. We're done criticizing the grammar. I checked his phone. I saw an exchange between him and... Here it is. Here we go. Okay. His girlfriend. Yeah. I saw sexual conversations with at least a dozen women. Wow. But most hurtful of all was a conversation he had with a woman regarding our children. He, he said, "I wish I had never become a father. I wish they were like dogs and could be put in a cage. I could just throw kibble in there." That's terrible. That's heinous. You could have stopped. "I wish I had never become a father" is usually the bad sentence, you know? Like, that's usually the one that's enough to make them feel bad about their existence. The additional, "I wish they were like dogs and could be put in a cage." Woof. All right. I mean, at least he's still planning on feeding the caged children that he wants. So that's nice. "I feel like I had been punched in the gut and stabbed in the heart. Yes, understandable. Our babies, yes, our blessings, reduced to nothing by their own father. I filed for divorce a week later. He gave up full legal custody without so much as a thought. I didn't care that he was unfaithful. I didn't care that he emptied both children's savings accounts for his own pleasures. That's another step to it. But I could not fathom those words about his babies. I asked him how he could feel that way. Why did he not love his girls? His actual response was, all we do is feed them, give them baths, and play stupid effing games with them. I am destined for more than that. My life is going to be so much more. Yeah, but you got kids, my dog. Like, at that point, though. Sorry. That's rough. I mean, you'd been together for 12 years. And you got married 8 years ago. If you wanted out, you had a lot of time to get out. You were together for 4 years, married for 4 years before you had your first child. Like, that seems super planned. It doesn't seem like you stumbled into it, you know? It's not like... I mean... were you surprised? What did you think the children would... Whatever. No, but what did you think the children would be, you know? It's like... And you had sexual conversations with at least a dozen women. So it's like, what did you want? You just want to... You're destined to try to sleep with a lot of women, it sounds like. Neat. Good for you. I can honestly say that those were the most hurtful words I have ever received, because I knew that they would never be loved by their father. And one day, they would be old enough to be devastated by that. 5 years later, he has been married and divorced again. Why would you marry again? I don't... Like, why... Okay. I mean, it's A or B, my guy. Or, you know, man up and say, I found someone new. Whatever. His children barely recognize him. I am not sure if he is living the life he dreamed, but I know I am. I have my 2 little angels to care for. I only hope I am enough. Good for you. That's rough. I could just throw kibble, and like, I could just throw kibble in there. I wanna read some comments. Oh, it's just a bunch of nice people being nice. That's good. I wanted there to be some dummy who somehow was like, kibble's good for you. I don't know. What's the most hurtful thing you have done to someone you care about? And how was it fixed? That's an interesting twist. How was it fixed? Let's find out. Handing the divorce papers to my wife. Oh no. Was the most hurtful thing I have done, or should say had to do. This act wasn't just the problem, but it was the solution at the same time. You see, I was once married to a woman I loved. I knew she had bipolar disorder, and she knew I was equally as flawed with my anger. Cool. We had been on again, off again for many, many years. Eventually there came a point when we decided to have a child. From the moment she learned she was pregnant, things began to decline rapidly. I anticipated the hormonal imbalance tipping the scales and such, but some things are inexcusable. Okay. Had been on. I'm doing some pre-analysis real quick. Already, I'm not gonna touch the disorders and his anger. I've never been an angry person. I've never understood that. To be like, oh, I just have so much anger in me. I've never had much anger in general. Even when I get angry, it's a lot more self-directed, so I've never been like, oh! So I don't fully get that. But anyway, he is flawed with his anger, and she has bipolar disorder. Not touching those. We had been on again, off again for many, many years. See, here's a thing about that phrase, on again, off again. And I should leave my mouse alone, that must be annoying. But here's the thing about that phrase is I've never really seen it to be good. It seems for the most part that when people are on again, off again, if you were to ask anybody that knows them, they would say they should be off again. Or they just, whenever, maybe they don't think that. They're like, okay, well, that's what's going to happen is they're going to get back together. But in the moment, you know, when they are off again, everyone is a lot happier about both of them, usually. But, or sometimes one of them. Sometimes it's like a... Anyway. So she had an inexcusable end of the pregnancy. She was so angry and out of control that there was just no communication anymore. We had a wonderful Christmas Eve with her family. That's great. That is the day they celebrate the holiday. Necessary to tell me. I understood that based on... The following day, we were at my mother's house with my family having dinner. She excused herself from the table to use the restroom, although she never went. She went upstairs, grabbed my cell phone, and began to sort through all my contacts looking for a reason to fight. Okay. She starts screaming from the top of the stairs. Everybody looks mortified. The first thing I thought was, where is our newborn daughter? Well, she is in the middle of having an episode. She accuses me of cheating with a woman named Patsy, who she has not previously seen in my contacts. Mind you, I'm 27 at the time, and Patsy was the 76-year-old receptionist at the office I worked at. That doesn't mean anything, man. Like, Patsy might have it going on. She begins saying she knew I was a lying, cheating jerk. She isn't going to put up with this. I said, please stop, this is Christmas. Why are you trying to ruin Christmas? Come downstairs and give me our daughter so you can go relax a bit. Off she goes and slams the bedroom door. She called the police and said she was afraid for her life, that everyone in the house at the time was trying to kill her, and that she needed help to escape. Oh, that's a lot. These are the type of paranoid delusions she suffered from. She was always a victim in her own mind. Oh, that's sad. That sucks. She gets stressed, but doesn't bother putting anything on our daughter. She rushes downstairs. I grabbed her and tried to get our daughter from her before she killed the baby. She put a death grip on the child, and I was becoming quite angry by this point. You do have those issues. She said, "Stop hurting me. Stop trying to hurt my baby. Get off me." Do you like that little effect to it? I don't know if it was working or it sounds good, but I'm going for it. I let go and said, "You are the one hurting the baby. You just hurt everybody here and you're lucky to be here right now." Meaning, generally, my mother did not want her in the house, as she knew how she acted. I mean, if this is a regular thing, it's 20, I don't want to touch that, but like, that's a lot. It's 23 degrees and snowing out. She runs out into the street and refuses to come back in while she waits for the police to arrive, which nobody knew she had called. Nobody knew she called the police. Oh, okay. I thought you knew, but you've given us a little bit of ironic knowledge right there. Literary irony, not like, joke irony. While they had detained me inside the house and refused to let me or anybody who witnessed this craziness explain what actually went on. Oh, way to go, police. Believing a woman freaking out. So, way to go. But this seems like a different situation. Yikes. She hopped in my car and kidnapped our daughter. Whoa! Every sentence is just... She went on to file for a restraining order based on a lie she had fabricated to make sure I would have no ability to request she come back with our child. Is he lying, though? It worked. I wasn't taken seriously when I tried to report the kidnapping because she had told them she was afraid that my entire family attacked her on Christmas. I mean, the entire family, though. So she had to run and hide. This couldn't have been further from the truth. You can imagine how upset everybody was. Well, I mean, especially if the mom didn't like her coming out. Like, I don't know. I think I might believe this guy who went on Quora just to talk about it. You can imagine how upset everybody was and how unbelievably powerless I was over this entire situation. My mother said to me, "Well, you are the one who said you could handle her. Now what?" But also, that's reasonable. Like, yeah. But also, that's maybe not the right time for that. But, we told you not to go near that woman. We told you she would one day make you regret being together, as she has so many times before. Called it on that one. Thank you. You are on your own with this. Those are bad moments. Those suck, but like sometimes they have to happen. Eventually, people have to be on their own sometimes. I got a lawyer out of necessity to fight the fake restraining order. We appeared before a judge who called the witnesses to the stand. Not one of them had a bad word to say about me, all of whom were current friends of my wife at the time. Okay. Yeah. The judge realized this was all a sham. Oh, we have the... Okay, there's a happy resolution. I thought maybe it was just going to be like, and I'm effed. The end. I can't see my kid anymore because my lady lied. My former lady. Oh, I guess she's still a wife. Anyway, my wife got a restraining order. Okay, not one of them had a bad thing to say about me. The judge realized this was all a sham and that she was simply trying to abuse the system to keep me away from our daughter. She was told that she could be held in contempt of court and jailed for doing this to me. They decided against this and let her walk free as my restraining order was dropped. Happy endings. My lawyer walked out into the hallway of the courtroom with me. She says, "Turn now and face the wall." I'm like, what? Why? She says, "Just do it." Immediately after exiting the courtroom, my wife, who was just trying to testify of being terrified of me and fearful of her life and the life of our daughter, throws a bag at me and says, "Carry this out to the car for us," and begins to walk away? Did Johnny Depp write this? My lawyer spun me around and she was livid. She said, "Did your wife just walk right up to the man she is deathly afraid of and command you to escort her to her car and tell you to carry her bag out?" I said, "Yes, that is how she is. She controls my life, and if I don't do as she says, most likely she will call the police again and fabricate more lies." Oh no. My lawyer grabbed me by the face and said, "I don't care what attorney you use, if it's me or somebody else, but you are going to divorce this woman. This is somebody who cannot be helped, and you are going to suffer for it." That is a good attorney. I retained her as my divorce attorney. That's a good attorney. That's what you want. And honestly, the whole family should have gotten that real with it. And if they hadn't, I'm glad he finally listened to somebody. I knew she was right. I knew I couldn't remain married to a person that forced me to marry her under the threat of vanishing with our unborn child, never to allow me to meet her. You can tell he's like still trying to forgive himself for it though. Of like, he's still like, "Ah, man, but she needs me. She's so," you can tell. He's messed up because of this. And he's got his anger issues. I wonder why. She did this stating that she refused to allow me to... Okay, I jumped ahead, but... Okay. Only then to have kidnapped our child, extorted me for money and a car, and now she walks up to me like I'm her slave after she's exposed for the fraud she really was in court? Fair. Super fair. The following months, we had 3 divorce hearings scheduled. Each time she showed up and was presented with the divorce decree, she tore it up and threw it in my lawyer's face. I feel like he means literally too. Like, actually going, blah, not just, not just metaphor. I don't accept. She did this stating that she refused to allow me to. She refused to allow me to divorce her, and nobody could make her sign anything. The 4th time, my lawyer calls the judge out from behind the bench during a recess. The judge summons my wife into his chambers, and when she came out, she had signed the papers and it became official. I don't know what they said to her. Frankly, I don't care what they had to do to get her to sign the papers. I'm just glad they got her to do it. I'm glad for you, my brother in Christ. Very much so. You deserve this. For this reason, giving her those divorce papers was the most hurtful thing I'd ever had to do. For I knew that despite all that was going on in that confused, scared, and crazy mind of hers, somewhere she was hurt and saddened by the idea of me giving up on her. Well, yeah, but also that's like ultra manipulative. So that's not cool. Even after all that she had put me, our child, and our families through over the years, this still hurt me deeply. I still felt bad for her. I know what you're thinking. There's nothing to feel bad for. Well, to me, marriage is sacred. I took an oath for better or worse, sickness or in health, and I had to break that oath. I feel terrible. Oh, dude, okay. I'm like, next one. This was also the beginning of my new life, which led to me getting help. Good for you. There's a lot of, like, post... You did the thing. The end. Sorry, just, it had the twists and turns. It deserves the end. Learn to accept things, learning to be responsible. I don't see my daughter, but I pay her mother to this very day 8 years later. She was too difficult to co-parent with, so I decided to be the bigger person and simply back off. It was the only way to protect my daughter from witnesses, the abuse she put me through every time I went to pick up or drop her off, and also protect myself from the ongoing abuse from her. But is your daughter getting the abuse? I can't judge you on this one because it's like, yeah, get yourself out, but also legally maybe fight for your daughter on that, because you know that, I mean, I get you're scared of her, but okay. While our situation will never be fixed, I'm remarried to a woman that is wonderful and doesn't have a mean bone in her body. She accepted me for me and has helped me realize my true potential. For this reason, I consider my new life to be the fix for my old life. I never have to wonder when my wife is going to snap on me or cause a scene. I do often wonder what I did to deserve such an amazing person to love me. For those of you out there who know what it's like to be in an abusive relationship, I suggest you find it in yourself to love yourself enough to let that person go. There's a life you never knew existed out there waiting for you. Very true. A lot to think about. Don't be with people that you have to handle, that you have to manage and handle. If they can't get to that point on their own, then they don't really deserve other people to carry them on their backs like that and then freak out like a child. I mean, we're all children. I'm not saying we're not, but that's, you can't do that. Okay. This one's, what is the cruelest thing somebody has done to you? Yeah. I'm going to do this for another, 30 minutes or so. Not just to me, but it devastated to... Oh, here we go. Oh, we were adopting. Let's go. Okay. That's bad of me. Not just to me, but it devastated two beautiful, helpless children we were adopting and had for a year. About 5 years ago, I came home from my extremely part-time job, 10 hours a week. Was the day before my birthday. My now ex-husband, should I not read the parentheses? My ex-husband approached me and said we needed to talk. He told the kids to go room and watch TV for a bit. I figured they did something, and as usual, I needed to be the disciplinarian. Cool. Alright. Yeah. This is so simple that it's decepting. Decepting. I think that's a new word. It's decepting me. Maybe not. Deceived. Deceiving. I asked him what happened. Did they fight? Break something? Refuse to do something? Talk back to him? Both were prone to do so with him. He said, and these words and these moments will forever be burned in my memory, and I am sure theirs. I quote, "Look, my name. I have never wanted to be a dad. I don't want to be a dad. I never will want to be a dad." He looked at me with a smirk of arrogance. He then says, wait, it's like, Look, Candace, I've never wanted to be a dad. I don't want to be a dad. I never will want to be a dad." Because he's got the smirk of arrogance. He then says, "Call the adoption agency and tell them they need to take him back." Again, this is like you gotta figure this out. Try to figure it out beforehand. If you have the inkling of like, I don't think I'm gonna want kids, then don't do it. About 5 years ago, no, I don't see anything in particular. And as usual, needed to be the disciplinarian. Approach me, so we need to talk. Okay. Yeah, he sounds like a not great dad. That said, he did not call them dogs. He didn't wish they were dogs, so he could put them in a crate. So, that's good. I was crushed. My babies, my children. Yeah, that seems to be a theme. I emailed the adoption agency. They contacted us immediately, and we had a next-day conference. He played the part of a neglected and stressed-out man. He pretended to cry and be remorseful. I know this man, and he didn't cry when his grandparents or his father died. Oof. Adoption agency asked if I would keep them if he and I divorced. That's a good question. Before I could answer, he suddenly stopped crying and said, "No, divorce is not an option." What? I simply said I do not have a full-time job nor any means of supporting myself and my 2 children. He has not allowed me to work for 7 years now. Okay, now that I have an inkling of a part-time job, this happens. Because of his constant calling to see if I am there and making me leave because he cannot deal with the kids? But when I got home, my daughter was doing her homework and my son, he was pre-K, was working on writing or reading. Because of this, my part-time job was jeopardy. And I have been trying for a permanent job elsewhere, but 7 years employment gap, makes that really hard. The divorce discussion is definitely on the table. Whoa. She said it. Good. 'Cause, I mean, that's a little ridiculous that he would be like, divorce is not an option. 'Cause, sorry, man, you said you never wanted to be a dad. And she clearly wants to be a mom. And that tends to be... I mean, there's other reasons, but ultimately, that tends to be the reason people go through the whole rigmarole of marrying and all that. Is because they're choosing to, do a life together. I'm not saying that you have to have a kid if you get married. It's just like... Well, that's something that you want to talk about before you get married, I think. Anyway, let's continue. 5 days later, they were at the house. Yay! They wanted to tell the children they were taking them the next... Oh, no, not that way. That's not the yay. I thought it was like the children were at the house. I'm really sorry about that, yay. They wanted to tell the children they were taking them the next day. They instructed us to not say anything until after they got there. I spent as much time as possible with my babies in those remaining days. That's so sad. He was at work or the gym. The evening they came, they told the kids. My daughter came into the living room and asked us both if she could ask a question. Asked us both if she could ask us a question. He walked out of the room and left me to answer, "Why don't you want us? And I thought you loved us." And something so mature from my 6-year-old, "Can't you just divorce him and keep us?" I mean, yeah. My heart was shattered. Their lives were shattered. I kissed and hugged her and told her I do love them, and if I could support us all, I would make sure they stayed with me, but I didn't want them to go through what they went through before. The next day, he had everything packed up and in the garage before they had breakfast. Neither of them would look at him. Neither would say goodbye to him. They both hugged and kissed me and asked I kissed their favorite stuffed animals. Oh, God, children really know how to, like, hit you in that true heart. You know what I mean? Like, right? Oh, that's... He had no response, and I know people will say he was holding things in, but he wasn't. He was quick to tell people, friends who no longer wanted anything to do with me, that it was all me, that I wasn't giving him enough attention. I put the children first. I did not make him first priority. That is another topic that I have already answered. I could no longer stand to be around him. I seethed with hatred for this pathetic excuse for a man. He is a worm. It's true. It's true. That's miserable. Okay. I have debated looking for them and trying to re-establish contact, but I fear it would not be beneficial to them. I found out post-divorce that he had been dating a woman at the time. Actually, since 3 years before? They met right before our wedding. His best friend introduced them. She was even at our wedding. That's disgusting. That's a long time. That's 3 years. And you didn't want the out of the divorce, and you wanted to get to the point where you had were adopting kids? Yeah. So the cruelest thing anyone has done to me? Cheated on me before, during, and after our wedding, then letting two beautiful children, brother and sister, think they had a loving father, and then ripping them away from a home they flourished in. Oh, you're okay, little cat. That's devastating. I'm glad it was like the end at least, but also, that's truly devastating. And I'm not making fun of like it. It's just like, it's so horrendous. I can't help but laugh and make fun of it a little bit. But it's like, that whole concept is mind-blowing to me. That you would cheat on someone so long. Like, and again, let two beautiful children think they had a loving father, and then ripping them away from a home they flourished in. Okay. Let's continue on our tireless endeavors. It's important. All right. My family and I were visiting an aunt and uncle about 100 miles from home. And when it was time to leave, my mother told me I would be staying there for a week. What? Okay. No explanation. For a week, I was a glorified babysitter and dishwasher. Months later, I found out my parents took my brother and two sisters on vacation to New Mexico. I don't know why I was left behind. Another time, my father came in from doing yard work in the backyard and came into the kitchen where I was doing dishes and took his. Oh no. Took his leather belt off, doubled it over, and started beating me across my back and thighs. I didn't have a clue what he was yelling about. He kept saying that my mom could have tripped and fallen, and he kept hitting me. Sister came in. Okay, this is a lot of hitting, but then we got other stuff. Okay. My younger sister came in and saw what was going on, and she grabbed him and told him that I didn't do it, she did. I still didn't know what the hell happened to set him off. Come to find out, my sister had used my tennis racket and had left it propped on the pantry steps, and my dad assumed it was me who did it because I was the only kid interested in tennis. Interested. He didn't touch her or yell at her or anything, and he never apologized to me either. The last time he ever laid a hand on me was because someone told him they saw me smoking. It was 2 days before Christmas, and I had to be in a choir concert at high school that night. I was upstairs laying in bed reading a book. I was wearing cut-off jeans and a nylon jacket, barefoot. I mean, that's pretty cool. Sounds pretty cool, setting the scene there. He came in my room. Oh no, he's with the belt again? What? Why is he coming back with the belt again? This is just a lot about beating. This is another one that I'm gonna skip. I was hoping there would be like another twist, but no, it's just... Yeah, that's not okay. Yeah. She had to threaten calling the cops. I'm skimming ahead. It's sad. Don't hurt people. Like abandonment is one thing, but like, Jesus, better to abandon than hurt. Like, physically attack the people. Don't attack people. Okay. This is fun. We have fun here. Well, my 18-year-old daughter wanted to drop out of school in her senior year. I told her that she could not drop out. She made good grades. It's her senior year. She made good grades and was almost done with high school. She contacted her narcissist biological father via Facebook, who has not been in her life for 7 years. No phone call, birthday card, nothing. Apparently, she plotted with him to take my 15-year-old son and live with their father in another state. They wrote up an emergency writ through an Addy, I don't know what that means, stating that they had no food or anything else they could think of. They wrote up an emergency writ through an Addy. Okay. An attorney? Maybe. Attorney. Must be an attorney. Stating that they had no food and anything else they could think of. One day, constables barged into my house, grabbed my son, and ran out the door like a criminal without shoes on. She had unlocked the door for them with her house key. I haven't been able to speak to my son in 2 years. Oh, no. But it seems like you're leaving out a lot of details about the home life itself. It hurts every day. I don't know if I care to speak to her again. I had given them both everything. Any hobby they showed interest in, I sacrificed for. They were enrolled in dance, piano, Boy Scouts, youth group, and I made sure that they saw a counselor regularly, in case there was something that they didn't necessarily want to discuss with me. Okay, that's actually a lot of stuff. I didn't date because I didn't want to negatively affect them in any way. The hardest part is knowing that they are not being cared for like I cared for them. I'm probably one of the strongest people I know, but this almost broke me. I'm in tears as I write this even after 2 years. That's just a sad one. That's another one that's just a sad one. Yeah, that's just a sad one. Um, yeah, that seems like unfortunate. But also, was there was there a reason? It doesn't seem like there was a reason, but providing, I don't know, you also gave them a counselor. All right, that's just a sad one. I was a young man, and I had been going to the same barber for 8 years. This feels like a better one. And I had been going to the same barber for 8 years. I had always tipped this man well, and also gave him a generous tip each Christmas. I would only get a haircut if he was in. If not, I would come back at a later time. That's how you know it's a good haircut. For sure. We only had light conversation during my visits, just greeting each other and maybe having a little talk about the ball game, so there was certainly no overt reason that he should dislike me. In addition, I am generally known as a very pleasant fellow. Therefore, I was seriously unprepared for what came next. I was in the chair one day, and the barber in the next chair asked Tony a question. Tony turned to him, and in sotto voce... What? Sotto voce? Well, that's why... I'll do it after I get finished with the Pillsbury Doughboy. At the time I was 5'11", weighed 198. That's basically my weight when I'm not sick like I am right now and faucet butting. But what? Okay, I want to find out what sotto voce is. What's... Yep, it's just in a quiet voice. Okay, well... Any comments? Oh, wow, that is highly, yeah. Okay. We met in an anti-Valentine's Day party. The whole love at first sight thing. We were both head over heels from day one. About 3 months into the relationship, he says to me he has a job offer in a foreign country, 8,000 kilometers away from home. He asked me to move there with him, being the hopeless romantic. I took the plunge and agreed to join him, though the initial request came after only 3 months. By the time we ended up moving, we had been together a year. So we got married, visa wedding with the proper ceremony to be a bit later once we had settled. I quit my very well-paying, cushy job, sold my car, sold all my furniture, canceled various annuities, rehomed my beloved cats with a good friend, said my farewells, left all my friend, family, and home behind, and followed him to France. Gosh, what could go wrong? Life in France was difficult but good. I studied French while he worked. I also did everything else for him. Everything! Cooked, cleaned, made the friends, found the apartment, found the car, booked the vacations, handled the insurance when the geyser burst, did the waterproofing in the bathroom, did all the driving, groceries, ironing, dishes, etc. That is everything, though. Yeah. I always told myself it was okay that I did everything else because he worked 9 to 5. But we were happy. The occasional small argument over following the GPS incorrectly, but nothing major. Great. Good. After a few months, too, I found a job. Fantastic. Things were still going well. He would travel for work occasionally, and so would I. It was December. He had bought me a Lego Advent calendar because I love Lego, and I love Jesus, and was leaving little love letters for me to find lying around the house. That's adorable, though. Like, that's great. We were both looking forward to the upcoming Christmas vacation. One night, we went for burgers, and I was telling him how I saw a really cool Jedi bathrobe. Wow. and thought he would like it. He immediately shut me down and said it was stupid, which I thought was odd because normally he would have loved something like that. That was the only clue I got that he was about to do the most hurtful things anyone has ever done to me. Okay, before I go on, I'm just going to say a Jedi bathrobe is a little cool, but a little stupid. And that's okay. But it's a little stupid. But mostly because it's going to be way too expensive because of the branding and merchandising. A homemade Jedi bathrobe, really cool. One that you get from Target, less so. He went to bed that night. In the middle of the night, he woke me up and said, "You need to leave. Let's get a divorce." You need to leave? Yikes. What? Why? What do you mean? He never said anything. He just kept on repeating the same three phrases. I want a divorce, leave, and you have 2 weeks to get out. I had no idea what had gone wrong, no idea what I had done wrong, no idea where to go or what to do. We were in a foreign country. The only bank account we had was his. What? But you do everything, so he's kind of screwed after. Especially if you, like, mess up the accounts. Upgrade his internet. Last minute. You upgrade his internet. And get cable. Oh, get everything, you know? All the packages, all the channels. You know how hard it is to cancel once you've upgraded? They'll whittle you down. They'll convince you want, like, football on TV. I don't watch sports. I'm just letting people know. Anyway, we went to bed that night. He wants a divorce. Want a divorce, leave. Hardest weeks, okay. Those 2 weeks were the hardest 2 weeks of my life. It was agony trying to reason with him and trying to figure out what happened. I even said to him, "You can't kick me out. This is my home. I have nowhere to go." His response was, "There's nothing for you here. Leave." The way he treated me was absolutely disgusting and broke me into 1,000 pieces. After everything I had done for him, given up for him, he couldn't even give me the benefit of time to organize my things or a reason as to why I had to leave. He just made my life so unbearable during those last 2 weeks that I just had to get out of that house. Well, that was his goal. Sorry. Or so unbearable during those weeks that I misread it. That it was like, it was so unbearable that you just had to get out of the house. Or maybe, I can't quite tell which reading. Either way, not great. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough. Because you might reach that point. But at the same time, that's not really the way to approach it, I don't think, when it comes to ending things. You don't start there. If you have to get to that point where you're being, cut and dry, sometimes it's necessary if they don't take no for an answer. Because, I mean, if it's time for him and he's like, "Nah, I don't want it," you probably shouldn't have brought her to France. Because it sounds like maybe you met someone. But at the same time, if it's time, then you gotta do it, But you start at a place of, "I'm so sorry, I don't want to have to do this, but I want a divorce." Or you just say, "I want a divorce, leave. You have 2 weeks to get out. I'm the landlord. My house, my rules. I pay the bills. You just handle everything in my life." I was devastated, ashamed. He took everything I had until I had nothing left, and then he took the rest. It's been 4.5 years since. It took me ages to get over it. I still get angry and never did find out what went wrong. See, that's the other thing. You should do that. Alright. What time is it? How long have I been doing this? I have been doing this for over an hour. So I am going to probably go ahead and do one more because I like that this starts "Hey Lalu," and it's for a mom. Okay. Oh, this is the whole thing. Hey Lalu, wake up quick. It's 9:45 a.m., my mom said. You will be late for office. This is the most hurtful thing my mother did with me because when I woke up, actual time was 7:45 a.m. It's winter. It hurts. Venom! Alright, well, funny. This has 660. What? Right. Okay. This involves Jennifer Lawrence and the fappening. So. Interesting. Okay. I was dating a nice lady for a couple years. She was the love of my life, bruh. Eventually, she became the mother to my son. I don't like this man. But before all that, there were troubles. I'm just going to skip this one. Well, it's got 660 uplikes. This guy talks about a lot of things that I don't want to say. Oh, reserved. Whoa. I mean, should I? I'm not going to. I was in 8th grade and standing at my locker minding my own business when without warning a person walked up behind me and wrapped a shoelace around my neck and started chalking like a garrote. That's really dangerous though. His companion told him to stop it and he just laughed and continued to choke me. Just as I was about to pass out, his companion pulled him away. As they were walking away, the companion said something like he could have killed me, to which the person trying to garrote me laughed and said, yeah, that would have been cool. So yeah, that dude's a psycho, that child. But to that end, I also got choked out to the point of almost passing out in kindergarten for me, pre-K or kindergarten for me. That kid became just a bully for like 5 years straight. Choked me in the cubbies where no one was there. No teachers, no nothing. So anyway, this will be the last one because this seems like another story. Sure. Yeah, but this just seems like another breakup. Oh, no, that's worse than the breakup, so. Worst thing that you've said to someone deliberately. Oh. Sorry, I skipped ahead and I read the next one, which I'm not going to read, I think, but that's another sucky ones. Alright. I don't know what I've said that hurt a person. Oh. I do know the hurtful thing I said which makes me hurt the most and which I most regret. Good distinction. I met this very kind person at my old job. They were rather quiet and self-possessed. So when they would tell me something about themselves, I felt like I won a prize. I was in love with them. They were not in love with me. I acted immature because of how I felt, but they were still very patient with me. One day, I was having a very bad day. I worked at a job where the employers intentionally tried to instill in you the notion that you could be fired at any moment. That sucks. It was in a right to work state, which basically means you have the right to be fired whenever and for no reason. Though I ended up being fired very soon, or fired for a very good reason. Another friend, one whom I also regret how I acted around, asked me to drive over and give him some cigarettes during my lunch break. Let's go, some ciggies. I did so, wound up being late back to work, not that I think it was the fault of the person who asked me to lend them cigs, and the stress of possibly being fired made me lose my shit. I tried to explain over IM how I was feeling. My friend did not understand how upset I was. I've always had a hard time understanding that people can't pick up on body language and tonal cues over IM for some reason. Maybe it's because you're using those kind of emojis? So I lashed out at him. I used something they told me in confidence. Their dreams for the future. Against them. Oh, I think for this person, it was the worst kind of betrayal since they were so self-possessed. How did you do it, though? It took me a long time to understand that. When they told me what they told me, it was a gift. One which I used against them. But how did you do it? Because I want to... Like, did you say, you're never going to build buildings? I'm not trying to excuse my behavior. Some people might try to mitigate it with the fact that I was in a psychotic break. I was diagnosed as schizophrenic several months later. Well, I mean, sure. That's reasonable then. But I know differently. I was mentally unstable, but I lashed out at them all on my own. It was no different than anyone who lashes out at a person over something unrelated, like a person who yells at a cashier because they found out earlier that day that they were being audited by the IRS. And I deserve how they responded. I was fired for creating a hostile work environment. I did something worse about a week later over email. But that was due to my psychosis, so I don't claim that in my giant list of guilt as much, even if the thought makes me cringe to this day. But what was it? I still think about how awful that was. I'm still in love with them. I still wish every day it hadn't happened that way, and that I had been mature enough in our friendship to respect them the way they deserved. True. But most of all, I'm just sad because I hurt them and I never apologized properly. I hate the fact I punished someone merely for their kindness and friendship. One comment? Wow, okay. Jeez. That person said you cannot hide behind a diagnosis. Oh, that's a cat. So he just, like, lost his shit, or she lost her shit, they lost their shit, they lost their shit, and got upset in a way that, man, that's not like, you gotta give the juicy deets. If you're gonna write a whole essay about it, you gotta give the juicy deets. What did you say? I used something they told me in confidence. Their dreams for the future. What did you say? Did you say your dreams won't happen? Did you crap on their dreams? Sorry. Okay. The most hurt. This is the final one. What is the most hurtful thing someone told you that wasn't intentioned to be hurtful? My dad basically telling me he does not want my sister and me in his life anymore. But that's kind of intentional. Oh, he said don't take it personally, though. I don't see any twists and turns in this one. Yeah. This one starts with cancer. I think we're on to some, like, Oh, I had cancer when I was 14. My dad left before the radiotherapy had finished and decided to divorce my mom. He took the family car, used to get to school and hospital appointment that was miles from our house. He tried to take my computer, my birthday present but was a family used one, and the TV that was given by his brother as a gift to us as a family. He moved to the other end of the country and refused to see me on my 15th birthday. He then decided he wanted to sell the house, so we had to move into private rented accommodation. I mean, that's sad. Nope. Maybe. This one's detailed. Let's try it. This is my last attempt. He says, there was a woman I had helped personally and professionally. I had introduced her to a major funding agency, got her appointed to the board of directors to a new board that she wanted badly, and introduced her to the commissioner of the Regional Planning Authority. She is not the only person I've provided introductions or help for things she wanted and was deserving, due to her knowledge and experience. This woman got a city project of mine postponed for 4 years. Almost stopped. Tried to sabotage a job for which I was hired, nearly a major tourism project in which I was working. Whoa. She's not the only person I've provided introductions. Okay. Almost stopped. Why? Nearly a major tourism project in which I was working, and told some of my board members absolute hooey. After she enjoyed some successes, in part due to the fact I had helped her, she stabbed me in the back, sides, faces, and everything else. I have been unable to figure out why. Maybe it was a bad plan. Maybe there was a better plan. Maybe it wasn't on purpose. Oh, what is that? Okay, I have to like pre-read some of these things, but all right, that was going to be the last one. There are so many questions that I want to start reading into, but I don't want to go too blue with it. You know, I don't want to just like read off a bunch of weird Quora smut, because it seems like there might be a whole alley of Penthouse forum stuff. Let's just click on that just for a second. Oh, it's a little cute fuzzer. I have 10 minutes. Okay, I have to do one. What is the most disgusting thing I have let someone do to me? I'll preface this by saying I'm not angry. It's a cute thing. Look at that. Okay. Back in 2013, my sister and I found a dumped kitten, barely a few days old. We rescued her, brought her home, and cleaned her up. The above is a photo after a week in our care. The night we found her, she was completely bald on her chest, eyes and ears fully closed. We didn't think she'd survive. Yeah, it's a little kitten. It's a little dying kitten. I'm glad you saved it. For the first few weeks, she had to be bottle fed, and as such, all her toilets were of the liquid variety. Once she started getting ready for a solid food, however, we developed a problem. The little kitten was horrifically constipated. For days after starting on solid food, she didn't have any solid waste. Nada. Nada de caca. I was worried for her. She didn't seem to be in pain, so I figured it would be best just to wait a few days and let her work to pass it. Oh, hey, buddy. One night, while sitting on my chest watching the TV like this, she turned her head to face me. I looked at the little pup and noticed the sad, slightly pained expression on her face. I saw her shifting her little butt uncomfortably, and in that moment, I realized exactly what was about to happen. Rather than move and risk harming my little bub, I sat there like a devoted father and accepted my fate. What followed can only be described as an explosion of horrific proportions, as for the first time in her life the floodgates opened and she sprayed what can best be described as fecal lava over my face, in my mouth, over my pillow, up the wall behind me. The little pup started freaking out, the lower half of her body covered in her own waste, not sure what had just happened, but probably relieved. So the first step, still caked in the mess, was to take this terrified little baby and clean her up, calm her down, while covered in her mess. Once she was calmed down and settled in for a nap, I finally got what I desperately needed, a shower and new sheets. Her name is Penny, and today she's a gorgeous, healthy cat, and so far, she has not been that constipated again. Ooh, that's good. Yes. There's been another time this person's mouth has been pooped in. That's a good end of this one, I think. I got so wrapped up in that story that I couldn't, I couldn't interject with things. That is adorable and so unfortunate, and she's so tiny that you can imagine her really wiggling and just going like, "Oh, it's coming." All right. I'm maybe gonna cut this up and upload it, or I'm gonna do whatever. I don't know. I'm chilling. Hanging out. That was fun. I would like a video game that I like to play.